the time of giving and sharing that with others with simple DIY Christmas gifts. Food, candles, chapsticks, baked goods, homemade things are what I am sharing today. So I am giving some simple ways of gifting this Christmas season through some DIY ideas. And many of these items do not take a lot of time to do, but they show that you care and that you love those around you. So first off, I am going to share that food is an amazing way to gift at Christmas time. And it can be something as simple as puppy chow. That is one thing I gift in my cookie baskets. A simple bag of puppy chow goes a long ways. People love that. Those Chex with some butter, peanut butter, and powdered sugar over the top just are a hit to so many people. Pretty simple, pretty affordable, and a great treat. So I do share over my blog a list of the things that I am gifting for Christmas this year that are DIY. So you can go check that out to get more details, also recipes, instructions, and if it's not my own, where you can find all of those on other people's blogs and links for that as well. Because sometimes those DIY gifts can be made up last minute. None of these take more than 45 minutes to an hour. Cookies, of course, you can whip up while you're doing something else when you're in the kitchen. So get in the kitchen, make most of these items, and you will be set for gifting. I also did share a Thriftmas video where I went thrifting and shared with you my haul of things that I am using secondhand to gift as well. And you'll see in the gift basket that I show you today what I have put together. And yes, I do throw in some new items, especially to people like our pastor or some friends. I'll do some DIY, some thrifted, and something new, or a gift card to a coffee, or a gift card just to Amazon, something that is practical. And I am a gifter. Honestly, it's probably one of my love languages. I love gifting, and that's something I have found out and feel blessed by doing that. And even if people don't appreciate it as much, I find joy in gifting and watching people open their gifts. So food, let's go back to that since I jumped over the puppy chow. I also love making candied almonds. These are such a simple treat to make, and they can be gifted any time of year or just made to have as a snack. I shared the recipe on a video last year, but those raw almonds roasted with some sugar and butter, they are just such a great treat. It's something different than a cookie. And then of course, simple Oreo balls. This one is really quick and simple to make up. It's like 3 ingredients with cream cheese, Oreos, and then the almond bark to go over the top. Nothing extravagant, but people love those. Good old Oreo balls covered in that almond bark. Throw a few sprinkles on top and delicious. And then a few of the cookies that I have made this season are my frosted butterscotch cookies. I find this recipe, or have found it and use it year after year, in the Gooseberry Patch books. There's so many of those books, and it's book number 5. I know a few of you have asked because you want to try that recipe. So I can try to put the recipe in the description box, or you can check out the blog and I'll hopefully have it there, because I don't think it's online, to be honest, because it's from an older cookbook from the Gooseberry Patch. Then I like to do a rosemary shortbread, and then my chewy ginger molasses cookies that are delicious and great. And honestly, you could make those cookies any time of year. And those are 3 of them. And then one more that I added last year was a white chocolate cranberry cookie. And this one is just beautiful and different, and it has fresh, dried cranberries that I actually get from Azure Standard, because I love using their cranberries because they don't have sugar on it. It's a juice that they have on them. So those are the cookies that I make. And then sometimes I've thrown in mini loaves of applesauce bread. This year I am not doing that. There's just seasons when I'll do more baking of breads and things like that to throw in. This year I did some of the DIY gifts, but I also do like to do other kitchen items to make, like my apple butter or pear butter. And those are things that if you've made them throughout the fall, or jams, I'll throw in a peach jam that I've made in the summer and just put some beautiful cloth over the top and put the ring on it, tie a yarn, a ribbon, even just on a simple piece of paper, write what it is, peach jam, or apple butter, and tie that on there, and it's just beautiful. You can get old material at thrift stores, garage sales. You can go buy it from Walmart if you need, or a crafting store like Michael's or Hobby Lobby, and get some material, cut them into the squares, and then put them over the top of your jar and put the ring on top, and it just really spruces up the jar than just having a plain old jar to gift. So those are things that have been done earlier in the year, so you're ahead of the game already, that you can use for gifting for the Christmas season as well. Now, something else that I didn't jump on quite early enough is my homemade vanilla, but I'm still going to be gifting homemade vanilla this year. So I purchased some vodka, and it needs to be 70 or 80 proof. I'm not totally sure, but vodka is something I keep on hand to make vanilla. So I got some bottles of vodka and used that to pour in my jars, and these latched jars I can link for you. I got some on Amazon, I've gotten some at thrift stores, I've gotten some clearanced or gifted to me, so I use those because they're really great for kombucha as well that I make, or gifting for homemade vanilla. So I made up 3 of these vanillas, and the beans I also bought from Amazon, so I can link that for you. And of course it'll be over on my blog too, where you'll have everything all on one page for you to look at. But the vanilla bean I got, and then I scored the middle of it so it immerses better into the vodka, and this will take 3 to 4 months for it to officially be ready. Now, something I've learned from past making a vanilla, make sure you put enough vanilla beans in there. So in the bottle size that I made, I put 6, and before I had put like 3. So I think this will have a better vanilla taste, because before it just still tasted kind of alcohol-y and I did not like that. And I put it in my baked goods and it had a taste of alcohol in some of those baked goods. So definitely make sure you put enough vanilla beans in there. So I made this just a month ago. So I wrote on my tab, homemade vanilla, made whenever I made it, enjoy in 3 to 4 months, and how to store it in a dark cupboard because you don't want it exposed to the light. It ferments better, or I don't know if fermenting is the right word, makes the vanilla in a darker space. So I'll be gifting that in my gift basket as well, for that's kind of a kitchen food item. So those are some of the kitchen food pieces that I've made and will be ready to gift this week, honestly, because when you see this video, it's mid-December, and that is the time I like, early mid-December, I like doing my gift baskets because it's sooner than some of the other people start gifting. That way they can enjoy some of this stuff, their treats, before they start getting everything like the week of Christmas. So just letting them enjoy it a little bit sooner so they have a little break from all their goodies before they get some more. Now to the DIY items that I have made. I made some DIY beeswax candles and some DIY chapstick. Now, I've never made chapstick, but honestly it was the easiest thing. I've done the pour candles, and this is such a fun gift to make. Honestly, you could make both of these with your children. I did not make it with my kids because I have a 2, 4, 6-year-old. The 6-year-old probably could have handled some of it, but honestly, for me right now, it was just easier to make it during nap time and get them all done in one time. And with working with hot liquids, I didn't want them to burn themselves. But if you have a little bit older kids, it'd be fun for them to make for a friend, or a teacher, or a Sunday school teacher, or something like that, or a neighbor friend that they want to gift to. So both of these recipes I actually found on Farmhouse on Boone. I've actually used Our Oily House for both, or for the DIY beeswax candles before, but I used her sister's, Lisa's, on Farmhouse on Boone. So I'll link those in the description box for you as well. But with the chapstick, I already had these ingredients on hand because I've made my own scrubs and lotions and creams with things like this. So little beeswax pellets that I got from Amazon I had because that works in the candle. These are for the chapstick. And then also for the chapstick, you need coconut oil, which I have a lot of coconut oil on hand because I cook with that often and bake with that. And then you needed some shea butter because that's really smooth on your lips. And then I put some drops of peppermint essential oil in that just to give it kind of a fresh. You could do grapefruit, you could do something lavender if you like lavender on your lips, some more citrusy type stuff as well. But I'll let you go and look at that blog post if you are interested in making that. And the tubes I ordered from Amazon and the labels, but you get so much for such an affordable amount. 50 tubes for like $7. So next year I can use some more of those tubes for making DIY chapstick. And honestly, I'll give some to my girls and their stockings, my sisters. Like, I got 15 tubes out of just a little bit amount of what I made. And that's such a neat thing with DIY gifts, is usually when you make it, it can make in abundance, which is so nice and handy because then you can give to more people, or you can save the items for next year. Now for the candles, I just use a bunch of my jam jars, jelly jars that I have because I had a lot of those and our family's growing. So when I make jams, I use the larger jars now instead of the little ones because that only lasts us like one breakfast or one meal. So I've been using the smaller jars for candles, or I've found jars thrifted before. I saved a few jars from like the Oiko, I think, glass jars of yogurt, clean those out. My tallow balm that I had used and used up from Tubes & Co., I cleaned that out and used that for a little candle. So just reuse some canisters and you can pour your candles in there. It's really easy to make this. You just use a double boiler, and I have saved this mason jar from years and years of making these candles. So the one issue with making candles is the wax really sticks to the glass. So if you don't want to have to really scrub and scrub and scrub, just save a jar or a container from years past that you can reuse again and again. Same with the spoon I used to stir it. But I did put some strips of aluminum foil in the bottom of my pan to keep that jar from floating, and then boiled it, and that takes a good 15-20 minutes, stirring it every so often with that beeswax and coconut oil. And once it's completely melted, the nice thing about a mason jar is you can honestly just pour it instead of having to put it in a measuring cup to pour it, because that would get all corroded and sticky, not corroded, but very gunked on from the wax because it cools very quickly. I just poured it from the mason jar into my little mason jars. The first thing you need to do though before that is get those wicks, and the wicks I've had for years as well because you can get those from Amazon, any craft store, and you get so many that you can use them year after year again. So I hot glued those wicks on, and then I waited for the beeswax concoction to be melted, poured it in my candles, and then stirred in a few different essential oils in some of them. So I did a citrus mix of grapefruit and lime and lemon. I did do like a thieves, so it kind of gets that cinnamony aroma in one, and then I left the rest plain because beeswax honestly just smells good alone, and sometimes people are not too keen on certain scents. I like them, but maybe they may not, so I just did some plain ones. So that was like a 50-minute project to do, and then I wrapped pencils. You don't have to have even dowels or anything like that. You can just use a pencil to wrap around the wick so it doesn't fall into your candle, and let them harden for an hour or two, and then they're ready to gift. And that is your simple DIY candle, which is beautiful, it's thoughtful, it smells good, and most people enjoy burning candles this time of year. Well, I think I covered the whole gamut of everything I DIY'd this year. There may be other things that I throw into some baskets, But as you can see from this basket that I'm going to show you here that I created for a close friend, I used some of my thrifted items as well, like this glass new jar with a little faux candle and snowman in it that lights up, kitchen tea towels I found thrifted, some kids books I found thrifted and devotionals, and then my DIY items like my vanilla, my apple butter, chapstick, candle, and then I threw in just some greenery to add a sprucing up of what the basket looked like. A thrifted basket, of course, because they are very affordable to find. And then I did throw in this gal, you didn't see this here, but she wanted some of my zinnia seeds that I have by our guest cottage. So I threw some of those in a bag for her as well, and a couple gift cards for their family or her to enjoy. So I hope you find inspiration in this DIY gift ideas for Christmas. Maybe there's some other things that you like to make that you could throw in the description box, or throw in the comments, for people to look at and read and maybe get ideas as well, because it is coming up very quickly to Christmas in about 2 weeks. So if you don't have them made yet, you definitely want to get those going so you can gift them and get them shared to other people, and go out thrifting as well. It's a great way to be budget friendly with DIY gifts and thrifting for gifts. And sometimes people are none the wiser, and you're being so thoughtful and generous in gifting. So anyways, I hope you all have a blessed and wonderful Christmas season. Enjoy the spirit of giving, because it is just a time where we can share our generosity with others, and making something special for a neighbor, a friend, a pastor, a loved one is a great way to show the season of giving. So I will come at you with another video next week, all Christmas related, and hope you enjoy your holiday time.